Welcome back to beard chatting with Varanax and Tread, and we've got our gorgeous red beard back. Back to facial hair daily.
Oh yes.
All right,
Glad to
I'm
be
just
back.
kidding. It's the
No,
podcast.
we're not doing that.
It's not facial hair daily. So how's everybody doing?
All right.
So Boyan, congratulations on being our first returning guest. First person to come back twice. You just decided to do it back-to-back weeks, mostly because we didn't get through what we wanted to talk about last week. An hour and a half in, we're literally like, okay, so we've gotten one topic complete. Decided to bring you back.
We got two topics.
Two topics, that's true.
Phobia and shows.
Right.
Well, I mean, we also did cover some gaming stuff as well.
Right.
Not to mention all the tangents that came off of just those two topics.
Tangents. Oh my god, the tangents that we had last time. So I think what the plan was to discuss get into like you as a gamer and how you started, and like this is literally the interview question that we ask everybody.
All right.
How did you start gaming, and fill us in a little bit about what you do and where you've been and all that stuff.
So started gaming, you're gonna have to be a little more specific with that one. Video gaming, tabletop gaming. What kind of gaming are we talking here?
Honestly, either dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice.
We like to dabble in a little bit everything around here. So go ahead and hit us with whatever interests you.
All right. So let's see. Video gaming. I remember that started like way back in the day with a Commodore 64. Like my brother and cousins, they all would gather, and basically they would start blowing into this thing because
it never worked the first time.
Like it worked 30% of the time. And it was just like, you have your 30-minute to 45-minute preparation to play the game. Then you play the game for maybe like 15 minutes, and then it was time to go home. So, those 15 minutes were magical. But as far as tabletop gaming, that was something that my family always did. Like starting with, I started with Monopoly.
Okay.
All the games.
The friend killer.
Most capitalist, ruthless game that I can possibly think of. Monopoly is just, hey, you're 7, you're old enough, let's go.
I'm guessing you paid out lots in rent very quickly.
It was one of those situations where my brother helped me out a lot.
Oh, nice.
He's like, oh, you landed here. Oh, well, you owe me. I'll cut you a deal. And then the deal was usually like 25% more than what I actually owed.
Here, I'll give you Baltic Avenue, but you got to give me Park Place.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So, and then my parents used to, we would all go over to my cousin's house because we all kind of lived in the area, and all the adults would do like card games.
Mm-hmm.
So they would do rummy, baccarat, canasta, and so on and so forth with like all the adults, and then all the kids would be, playing whatever board game we had on hand.
Nice.
That was the earliest that I can remember of actually starting, and then especially for board games, like I love them as much as one can, and I still do. Like I had at one point over 70 board games.
Yeah, I remember
lining the shelves. Wow.
I remember the wall.
Yeah, the wall.
He had a whole entire wall of board games. Yep.
So it was one of those situations like, and the problem was, so I would play one once, and then I'd be like, ooh, that was great. What else can I get? And then I would get another game and I would play it once and do it over and over and over again till I had like 60 games.
Okay, I got a question. What was the Japanese game that we played that not one of us understood what the hell we were doing the whole entire game.
Dude, there's
white box. I know, but it was a party game, and we all played together at your house. It was a white box. Maybe I don't remember the name of the game at all.
Did we have little ships that we kind of moved around?
Yes.
Yes, that was Suro of the Seas.
Oh my god.
So that particular game was
complicated.
That was not complicated. Just nobody fucking. We had some drinks. Let's premise that.
Well, yeah. To be fair, I don't think I've played a board game with you sober. So.
Well, I mean, board games are fun when you're drinking.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's why on Tabletop Simulator, that's that's one thing we do is like we have drinking nights for like Munchkin.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No, the better part is like drinking beforehand and then trying to interpret the rules to the game.
Right.
Like seriously, if somebody goes, "Okay, I have all the pieces. Here you go. You're the most sober. You read the instructions and go from there."
God. If you showed up late, you always had to read the instructions because everybody else was half in the bag at that point. Like as soon as we started, it's like, oh, well, Raven's here late because he always showed up late. Don't worry, Raven would be walking in the door with a bottle tipped up high, though, trying to catch up real quick. But man, we played a ton, and my wife loves board games. We played. My sister-in-law actually bought she bought copies of the games that my kids have, and they play over.
Okay.
Over
at her place.
Well, no. What is it called? Like Zoom. They like play over Zoom. So Okay. They'll have like a guess who, and they each pick their board. Yeah.
Cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, they do Battleship stuff like that. Basically, we're trying to, have that stuff, and everybody kind of get to still play with it.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the most important things that parents or future parents can do with their kids is get them into board game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because that's analytical thinking right there. That it forces you to come up with solutions to the issue that's right in front of you, and you have to do it on your own. So
the other thing is get your kids into games and stuff like that, and that gives them the sense of family and stuff like that. We have a lot of that bonding and stuff, but I remember the one saying was that if you want to keep your kids off drugs is to get them into Magic the Gathering because they couldn't afford the drug.
Oh, yeah.
So there's also side quests available where there's extra perks if you get them in a certain thing.
That's so freaking true. I used to play Magic the Gathering, and
I never got into
Magic. That's money pit.
It is so expensive.
I was into Pokemon.
It is so expensive.
Pokemon card,
yeah.
I never got into Magic.
I didn't get into Magic until I think it was about 5 years ago. I had to stop though because it was just there's no way I could fund it.
Right.
Too expensive.
Too expensive. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of what it was. I was watching a video of a guy opening like the original, like he had found like people were selling boxes of the original card pack, and he got I know nothing about this. The Black Lotus, is that
the Black Lotus? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he got one in there, and he literally started openly weeping because it's like a $25,000 card or something crazy like that.
And it was like expensive the holy grail of Magic the Gathering cards.
And it was brand new. Like you literally am watching this guy open the packs fresh out of the box, still saran wrapped everything, and he finds this, and you literally the camera it's his hands are like this. He's so he's literally openly weeping. I would never ever spend quarter of what my house costs on anything the gaming related. Sorry, guys.
Thinking about that, I saw this post where someone, this guy had a bunch of Magic cards, and he decided to stuff them in his rim, the rim of his wheel, for his car, and he used that to block out like spray paint, and he ended up spraying a Black Lotus.
Oh.
Yep. And he sent this text to his friend, and his friend was like, "Don't tell me you can't tell me you did that to that card." And he was like, "What do you mean that card?" It's like, "That's a Black Lotus, man." So the guy pulled the card up and then took another picture, and he was like, "This card?" And he's like, he didn't even respond. Like, it just says hello afterwards.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So obviously he did not know what he had in his possession.
Nope.
Well, that's like a lot of the so I was really early with the Pokemon stuff. Like I was getting some of the cards, a lot of the cards I had were like first edition, original printage and stuff like that. And then I went to the military, and then my mom lost her house in the 2008 bubble bursting. And somehow in the transition from one place to the next, because my mom lived in an apartment, and she moved into another house, then rental, and then she moved into another apartment, whatever. And during all this time she was transitioning, I was in the Marine Corps station in Carolina, and she was taking my stuff. Somewhere along the way, a box or two got misplaced, and one of those boxes had all my Pokemon cards in it. It had all my my sports memorabilia, like signature autographs. I had a lot of, in Cleveland, so I had a lot of Indian baseball players. I had Jim Thome right before he left the Indians. I had probably my favorite though was Omar Vizquel, because I loved him back in the day. He was but I had all these autographs and football and baseball and Pokemon cards and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I had like all the original like red, blue, yellow, like some of the original Pokemon games. And I doggone, I have now, like, it's just left in an attic somewhere. Somebody found it, opened it up, and they got a treasure trove and probably just tossed it. And I remember looking through when we went to Comic-Con a few years back. I was going from station to station. Somebody had Pokemon cards set up, and I looked at some of the cards that they had were cards that I had, and I realized like I was out $1,000 because these cards were, and I always took care of them. They were all like in a book, like all nicely. Yeah, always
Sounds
kept
exactly like me.
Always kept nice.
I lost my cards in storage because my parents couldn't pay for the storage. But I wanted to actually show you something.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah.
See, I was a blue guy though. My brother had red. I had. Yep. That's exactly color. Yep, that was the one that I had. Yeah. I love the see-through. They need to bring that back. Nintendo needs to bring back the purple.
I God, enjoy it.
It was the best one.
Does this come through the mic at all when I talk?
Yeah.
Probably not, because
very little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very little.
But yeah. I very much that was like I mean, that's nostalgia right there for me, was playing that game, or the old Final Fantasy games, older. I'd say not old, but old Final Fantasy games.
So I'm actually really excited because they are releasing the remake of Final Fantasy VII for the PS4 for free this month, and I'm really excited.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm getting old, and I'm not remembering numbers. Which one was 7?
7 is with Cloud and Sephiroth.
Okay. I loved it, but 8 was my favorite. I'm sorry.
8 was your all right.
Listen, I got flack for it for years, and I'll still get flack for it saying it aloud now. I loved 8. I just did.
Here come the comments.
I love 8.
8 was my
I
favorite.
8 too.
8 was my favorite.
8 was my favorite, and it's funny because it's like
Nobody,
I never hear that.
Yep.
I never hear other people say 8 was my favorite. And the reason why 8 is my favorite is because 8 is what I started on. I didn't even know about 7.
I didn't play 7 until like I was probably like a late teen, and I got like a copy.
So
I just realized I have this set up.
7 was my very first one that I got introduced to.
Yeah.
And that was for the first PlayStation, and it came with 4 or 5 discs.
Yeah. Oh God. I forgot that they had the multi disc.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I still remember the packs of those.
I remember I actually never finished 7, and I wanted to, because the last disc somehow got ruined and it wouldn't read.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no,
so
that's the worst.
I am actually, this is why I'm looking forward to the remake, is because I get to finish the fucking game.
So
the remake, yeah, that's the reason why I want to play the remake.
For me, it was Hitman. So in Hitman, there comes a point where you're crawling in a air duct, and as you're crawling, you have to switch from one disc to the next, and you put in the second disc, and he literally, I left it on for like 3 days. He's literally just sitting there crawling. It never loaded. I didn't, no matter what I did, and it was like it was at the point like you save right before you go in, so you save it, go in the air duct, and like that's literally all it did, and then you have to change from one disc to the next, and it never loaded. It broke my heart. Man. Yeah, forever. Like that was my one. I still to this day I think I have the Hitman series on for the PlayStation that I have PlayStation. But
do you have the memory card though?
No, I could have put it. I think I'd have for like the PS3. Like they adapted, they adapted it for the PS3, so I think I have that.
Because I was about to say, have a PS3 for the PS1, and you don't have the memory card. That's oh my God, that was one other thing. Like you had a whole decks of memory cards that you'd have to save.
Yep.
And then, God forbid something happens to one of those, and half your game saves are gone.
Oh, and then there was like Nintendo that was like, oh, you want a rumble in your controller? Here, buy this box. It was it was literally just literally a motor with like a washer a nut attached to the one side, so when it moved, it shook. And then literally, like, here's this box. And that was like an extra $30 on top of your controller that was already $50.
Oh my God, Game Shark! Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I still yeah.
To get all the cheats and everything, you had to have a Game Shark.
Whoa! You never use cheats.
Speaking of another thing, now that we're talking about Game Shark,
Vernax is sitting in his he literally has all these things. He's like, they might talk about this. Let me pull up my PlayStation 1. He's got props sitting around him.
So here's
all messed up, but this is a Tetris cartridge, by the way.
Nice.
On the back of it are Game Shark codes.
How well it ties in.
Yeah.
So you guys are just giving me all this time to bring up not all this time, but all these topics to just literally bring up props.
We need to let Vernax know ahead of time what we're going to want to talk about, so he can make sure he has props ready.
Oh yeah.
Who's the guy? Who was the guy that used to smash the watermelon with the big ass sledgehammer? Gallagher. That's Vernax. Vernax is just sitting there waiting to pull up new props to smash in front of him. We're all sitting here. Me and Boyan are just sitting here chit chatting, and Vernax is like, "I've got that. I've got that."
So I actually find a small issue with that. It's the DM conundrum, where you have all this stuff prepared, and then your players go, "Way the hell that way?"
They go that way.
And you're like,
you try to. I just need you to go this way, and they're like, "Nah, I'm going that way though." Yeah, and that really wraps into our next topic, which is D&D, which is I huge fan, love it myself, play it. We play every other week. We I've DM'd. We were in the middle of a thing, and then holidays hit, but then we picked up with your thing. I know Varanax he's played before, and McNelly surprised us at our last session. Him and Jez just did a pop in. So it's so how psycho are you to be able to put these things into place? You literally have puzzles that I'm going to be true to my word and not going to Google the answers, but Jesus Christ, some of these I don't get. So there's that. And then there's also like he decided to make a fire elemental eat children, but somehow I bluffed you out of the fire elemental, and now he's my friend. Yeah, so
I actually implement a rule that they use at improv, which is never say no.
Yeah.
Always go with a yes and.
Yes, but I need you to do this. Yes, but I need you to roll.
Exactly.
Right.
So I actually welcome my players to be as extravagant as possible. Simply because, as I said before, usually when you have a DM that has all of this prepared, guess where the players aren't going to use?
Any of it. And I found that out from from DMing. I was actually DMing out of a book, like a written,
like an actual campaign.
Yeah,
like
an actual campaign. And I still had my players trying to go outside the boundaries, and I'm like, guys, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what's on the other side of that wall because I'm going off of this book and it doesn't tell me what's on the other side of that wall. So if you're going to go outside there, then we're going to be off track a little bit. But even with that, you're able to take, and you're allowed to be flexible with that.
Yeah. See, that was the one thing I found, like actually playing a campaign. I personally, I find DMing much more enjoyable than playing.
Right.
And that's because, like you said, I have some very interesting ideas of what should be going on.
Interesting. Those are the words we're going to use here. Interesting ideas.
Well, let's put it this way. My last character was a cleric that refused to heal.
Yes, I'm aware.
Absolutely hated doorknobs.
Yes, I'm aware.
And during a raid on a castle, decided to steal bedding from the barracks, and then proceeded to attack the guards with a pillow on the run.
Yes, I'm aware.
So
I was there.
The DM had some issues coming up with responses to these problems because he was
using a module.
He wasn't using a module. This was an actual he was doing a homebrew campaign, if you remember. The problem was,
you're right, because the second campaign he ran, he was using the campaign.
Yeah. Because the first campaign he ran, he wanted homebrew, and he went like all in. He spent nights, like sleepless nights, making actual terrain for us, which was amazing.
It really was. And then somebody bluffed a dragon and ruined a whole entire session.
He literally took a page of stuff and just went, well,
he built a castle out of like foam and cardboard and painted it and spray painted it and everything. And literally we were supposed to fight a dragon and more than likely lose to the dragon at that point because we were not dragon prepared.
Not dragon prepared. We were level 4, man.
Yes, no, I'm
aware. Of course we were not dragon prepared.
And I literally bluffed the dragon.
Oh my god.
He made me roll twice to double check it, and I rolled 22 times in a row, and I bluffed the dragon. And so basically, for the longest time, that castle was in my basement. It just literally he didn't use it because that was it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's
crazy.
And
it was the whole entire session was supposed to be like 4 to 6 hours, everything. I think we were like 45 minutes in. I bluffed the dragon, and he goes, "Well, I don't have anything else prepared." I was like, "Sorry."
And that's the biggest problem with those sort of sessions, because I know too many people.
Yeah.
That will go, well, I'm gonna do something completely unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna not do anything you have planned.
We can also discuss how somebody can accidentally start a cult religion.
Oh yeah.
By rolling a 20 to convert a mayor who just so happen to have a high influence amongst all the towns in the area. And next thing I know, we are hunting down a beholder.
Yeah, so I made a beholder a god.
Oh, okay.
Whoops.
So this is the campaign that I was running over before the holidays, and I'm not going to give anything away because we might eventually get back to it, and there's so much involved with it that but the story is that everybody, I like my guys to have quirks. Everybody has a quirk. Boyan's character was that he hailed Spud, and he literally would walk around and go, "Hail Spud," and Carl's character, who was a bard, who was probably a simpleton, would follow him around and repeat him and say, "Hail Spud." So we get through this thing where we're fighting the undead in a city, whatever. So the mayor comes up, and Boyan goes, "I'm going to talk to the mayor." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, I want to tell him about Spud and how Spud is great and almighty, and we need to hail Spud. And he rolls a perfect 20 on his bluff. I don't think it was a bluff. I think it was a persuasion or something.
Persuasion, yeah.
And the mayor's like, "Oh my God, but Spud sounds amazing. We'll open a church." Yep. By the time we made to the next town, there was already cultists to Spud. And then they had...
Oh my God.
So then that was what I made our next campaign about, or the next session was to try to clear out the cultists. And they run into Spud, who we find out was a beholder. And Boyan was so young that he thought the beholder was trying to help people in his town, but it wound up being that Spud was killing people in his town and using like his confused ray to make people fight each other, and it got all jumbled in his head. And so he'd been hailing Spud. So now his life mission is to destroy Spud. And so that's where we left it off.
Do you remember what my improvised weapon was?
Yeah, he had a fingerling potato that I let him attach onto a weapon, and it got a +1 damage when he shot with it. But I didn't want him to become overpowered and like start stacking on fingerling potatoes onto an arrow or something. So I only let him do it once per combat, so that he only got like one, I
was gonna make shish kebabs, man.
Oh yeah, I know you were. It was gonna be potatoes galore. But I mean, and that was the thing, was like, it was a quick transition because, he had said something, and now I had a problem in my world. Like, and the way and this was the other thing, was in my world, the way I had always thought of my world was, you get stronger by having followers. So the fact that there was a beholder who was already pretty strong as it is, now has cult following. You now have a beholder going from difficult tier to god tier. And literally when they first walked in, as soon as they walked in, all of them except for Boyan got shot with like a paralyzed ray and were all completely knocked out. And but then we did like individual sessions where while they were knocked out, they each got to meet they got to meet their gods or which was really a fun, interesting thing to do. Instead of having a session that week, we just broke everybody down individually and like, okay, you tell me which god you represent, and I build worlds and stuff around them so that they could have it. But that was actually really fun those times.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
But they like to just simply they were chugging through my content, and I was struggling with the holidays and stuff, real life stuff, so I wasn't able to keep up with how fast they were moving through this stuff. But because I was doing maps and stuff like that, Boyan's not doing maps, which I think is I actually am enjoying it a lot better without having something to visualize constantly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I do put up, like, when we were first starting out with the maze, I do put up a little bit just to kind of clarify.
Right.
But I'm not doing like all sorts of detail.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing, and I think that was pushing too far from I think we ever did get back to it. Instead of like using a map builder and completely building a world.
Speaking of,
was frustrating.
I did see a new app that does like AI generated maps for a specific thing. You get to pick up rooms and whatnot, or just kind of what you want, and then it auto populates it.
Oh wow!
You can shift things around. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but it looked really, really cool because you can do it in
so
2D
much
or
more time.
3D.
Right.
Oh, I know, right?
So much of our time with so much. I mean, literally like days and days of building like a town to try to build it from scratch.
But no.
Speaking of which, have you guys checked in on your pub recently that you guys overtook and reopened that is under new management?
Yeah. So it's not called under new management. It's called under new friends.
Oh, that's right, under new friends. Ooh.
Oh no.
So yeah. We terrorized this town so badly that our barbarian decided to rest up and slam his axe down on the bar, at which, the barman said, "Screw it, I'm out.
I'm out. He crit the bar, basically split the bar in half, and he's like, you know what? Fuck you guys, I'm out of here. And just up the
So we inherited a bar.
Mm.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah. These are the exact issues that I have, or that I found most DMs have. So I found a solution. How long have I had our session going? Do you remember?
I think we're like 6 in. No, longer, like 9 now. 8 or 9.
9 or 10 sessions.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically, we started in January.
Since New Year's. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think I have actually written down and prepared?
I know the answer, so I'll let Vernex try to.
Vernex, go ahead.
How much do you think of his world he has written?
Basically, only a select few things, like details, especially like how we had Jez and I, we were talking about specific things, and we had to have details written down for that.
Mm-hmm.
For other things, definitely not much at all, I would say. I mean, when I DM, everything is improv. Mm-hmm. I don't plan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you exactly how much. See this right here?
Yep.
That's the session so far. And this part right here is the only part I've actually written down. And this is the maze, which took 4 sessions.
Yep. That's exactly what I do with my campaigns.
I was trying to see if there's any secret information on that thing.
Oh no, there's not. You guys went through all of that. It's done and over. I'm sorry.
I honestly find that to be one of the best ways to run games. It's so much fun to just do improv and continue. Like, okay, so you remember how I was talking about how someone caused a house to fly away because they scared the shit out of it.
Oh yeah.
In this dream world. And the whole dream world thing was improv. They met this this mage that was seeking help uh, for this king who was currently uh, permanently trapped within a dreamlike state. So he opened a portal to that king's dream, and they went through, and all sorts of crazy stuff happened. Like there's just these, again, like the sentient houses, and that
Wouldn't
was
know about
just that
that.
was that
Don't
was
worry,
some of the
your ex will
most
show
fun
up
I had.
again.
Not that we're not trying to cut you off. So my character from the campaign that you and Jess dropped in a kneecapper. His ex girlfriend is a 2-story house that follows him around and will occasionally just throw things at him, just like lurk. And I had to just remind her that I had a restraining order. So. Sorry, go ahead. Continue with your story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I was
it's fine. I was
going
to close it off actually.
Yeah.
And say that improv again is probably my favorite way to run a game. It's just you could develop stories that are completely unheard of just based on how the characters react to certain situations. And it's so much fun developing lore behind what they do and develop the world based on where they're going, what they're seeing, how they interact with specific things, like say an ancient object that they find and it has some magical properties, but where are those magical properties from, who made them, et cetera, and it ends up tying into, like, say, some ancient underground city that held this artifact as some divine object. And it's just, this is all off the top of my head, by the way. I'm just kind of throwing things out there.
Right.
And
don't worry, I'm taking notes.
And that's essentially how I run my games. I love doing that. It is. I don't know. I miss it. Let's just say that I miss running campaigns.
So the one thing that I keep telling people, I'm like, yeah, you can run a pre-built game, and that's fine. Most of the time, the people that you play with, if you play with strangers, they will kind of keep to themselves and keep to the rules and follow along, and But when you play with people that you've known for like 20 years, they become a little loosey goosey. So you have to prepare for that. And it's you prepare by not preparing. You
Right.
have to realize as a DM, you are not there to win. You are not there to influence them too much. You are just there to tell a story, give them the setting, and let them run loose.
First off, why don't I get to win as a DM? That's rude.
You can. That usually results in a TPK and starting a new campaign.
So that's how Bojan's ending ours. Got it.
You're close.
Yeah, I heard.
But no, it's one of those situations where I tell this to my players all the time. I'm like, I'm just here to watch you fuck shit up and eat some popcorn, because that's exactly what's happening in this right now. Like, this is a train wreck, and I am the spectator.
We are a train wreck. Literally, we are a train wreck. And I also like the idea that that D&D is it's fantastic. I think it really brings the fantasy aspect of the world to life for a lot of people. Like a lot of with really big imagination can really thrive. But it also has a set of rules. And I kind of like to look at those rules as more of like a strong guide. Like like take the potato. Like, why Tails, bud? Why is your character attaching a potato to the end of a crossbow bolt and then shooting it? What does that mean to you? And there's no way in any book ever am I going to find an improvised weapon of fingerling potato as how much damage that's going to do. So you improvised it, and but there was a reason behind it. I couldn't just have people being like, well, listen, I pulled out my axe and I cut him in half. Well, why did you do that? Because I want to. Well, that's not good enough reason,
There's got to be a story behind it.
It has to be, and it has to be logical. To a sense, listen, like, there is zero logic. There is zero logic to Kneecapper at level 2 owning an elemental. Okay, he has a fire elemental bound to him by a chain that is embedded in his arm. Okay, zero logic. But I talked my way into it.
It sounded fun, so I'm like, yeah, sure.
Right. And then and we had people when we were playing, and we were the first time we streamed it, people were interested like what the story was or whatever, and we had people that like we didn't know going, well, wait a minute, why are you guys doing it this way? Why are you doing this way? And when we tried to explain it, they're like, but that's not how the rules are. And we're like, okay, but the rules to us are more of a strong guideline. Like my character, I'm not going to sit there and say like, there's no reason a halfling warrior is going to have like 60 strength. Like my guy was in a war and is barely strong enough to do anything, but there has to be logic behind it too. There has to be reasoning. You can't just be like, oh, I want to be super strong. Like that's not good. Like Bojan was using his potatoes as his religious object that he was, he was spreading his religion with every crossbow bolt. And it was fine, like until I realized that he was putting it on every crossbow bolt, and I'm like, wait. You can't spread your religion that much because then you get cult members, and I'm like, damn it, we already have cult members. It's getting out of control. So
see, the best part was as the potato hit, I screamed, "You are healed!"
With negative damage. So that was the only healing he did, was by a potato on a crossbow bolt.
Oh God, that's amazing.
Look, here's the thing. I do heal sometimes.
When?
There was the one time nobody liked it.
I'm assuming this has a story behind it now.
Is that when you couldn't res properly? I'm trying to remember what you did.
We were in a water elemental palace.
Oh my God. Elemental. The different elemental palaces. Those were just crazy.
So we're walking around, and literally one of our players is like, I'm tired of my character. I don't want to continue with this. I'm like, and I took him aside. I'm like, I can help you with this. You have to play along.
I was like, I cannot believe.
He's like, all right, cool. I'm like, make yourself a druid. You're going to have fun with that one. He's like, okay. So our barbarian friend decided to have a bear skin loincloth because that's the only thing that fit. And this bear skin loincloth was obtained and then literally stuck onto him with a knife.
Okay, it wasn't a bear skin loincloth. It was
a bear.
It was a
full bear.
Bear loincloth. He never skinned it. He just took the bear, wrapped it around himself, took a knife and stabbed the knife into his hip, and that's how he held the bear loincloth to himself.
So
he was also best friends with the necromancer, who he would sit there and talk into his head and like make him freak out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But so at one point we are going through this place, and he's like, I don't want to play my character anymore. It's boring to him. I'm like, all right, cool.
And it was the way that we had, like, the way this campaign was going, like his character didn't fit.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Like he really went, like, he had like borderline no intelligence, and we were like sitting there trying to solve puzzles and figure like he did not fit this campaign. Like he would fit in a great like war style like hack and slash. This was we're sneaking through and trying to recruit people to overthrow the whatever. This was not his campaign, which I was completely like well up front, like realized pretty early this was gonna work.
So it came a point, he's like, okay, I have like 5 health. I'm just gonna take a nap. And we're like, and he just literally stopped right where he was. Everybody continued on. So I was a tiefling at the time, and my grandfather may have let loose one of the demon dogs out, as to walk around and so on and so forth.
As grandfathers tend to do.
Yes, yeah. And the demon dog got loose and killed our friend. His name was Kyle, and I made sure to scold Kyle for eating my friend. So while everybody's freaking out, the necromancer over here is trying to cut off a pinky toe for his bag collection.
Yeah, I had a collection of bones. You never know when you're going to need to resurrect something.
Exactly.
Listen, the Minotaur bone came in handy. I'm just saying. Okay? So
I'm like, guys, I know I haven't done much for this group.
Ever.
But I'm going to make it up to you guys. And I'm going to resurrect him. It'll be fine. So I went up to him. I closed my eyes and placed my hand on top. And I cast a resurrection spell perfectly.
It was amazing. Rolled everything perfect.
Oh, yeah. The bear comes back to life.
He resurrected the bear. Which just so happened to be a druid.
A druid that was stuck in bear form. And then was worn around a giant barbarian's nethers.
He literally wakes up and he's like, why does my mouth taste like crotch?
Oh my god.
So that was the end of our barbarian friend.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Like,
and then
of all things.
Yeah, right. He resurrected the first and only time he's ever done any sort of a positive healing spell ever.
Yep.
And he accidentally resurrected a druid that just so happened to be a bear claw.
Yep.
Oh my god. That is like
and this is the craziness that D&D can bring upon you. Like,
yep.
It just one roll wrong and the whole entire, like, you go a whole entire different direction. The whole entire world collapses.
Oh, yeah. I remember, like, everybody, like, both me and the guy were laughing our asses off. The DM's just going like, what? I'm like, no, this is happening. And he literally takes his character sheet, throws it out, and goes, I'm ready with the next one. Let's go.
Oh my god, that is so good.
He just goes, my name is this, and I don't like, and points right at the necromancer who was best friends with the barbarian who's now dead. And I'm like literally upset. And he goes, and I don't like you. And I'm like, so that's not happening.
So, these are the exact moments that I absolutely love in D&D, is the unexpected, because that's when all the fun begins.
Right. And when your whole campaign set up to be unexpected, that's when it just goes completely.
Oh yeah.
So, but I very much enjoy how the most recent campaigns being run with I have a list of 5 things, and we don't even have to do any of them. Like,
yeah,
these are just things that I think might happen eventually, and they don't even have to happen. They don't have to. And to me, that makes it interesting, because I go into a campaign and I'm like, okay, I had a singular goal of, in this session, I needed to get Susan healed, right? Susan is my fire element.
Yeah.
I needed to get Susan healed. We spent 4 sessions inside of a maze to try to get Susan. And that was my singular focus, but at the same time, like, nothing went. It was not point A to point B. It was point A, but in between there was A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 47, 89. And next thing you know, I'm jumping through a portal to go through another portal to get back through the portal so I can get up higher. And all I had to do was jump off, but it wasn't nearly as cool.
No, absolutely.
So I like doing it my way, and I made it up there. Or like when I tried to light a building on fire with Susan, and because I rolled so low on my initiative, by time it became time for me to go, the fight was already over, and I'm lighting a building on fire as a distraction from the fight that's already finished. And then, my guy inhales too much mercury, and now his voice is super deep instead of the high pitched squealy that it's always been. Things just happen, and you just never know what to expect.
And let's not forget the repercussions of your actions, where you decided to burn down a hat shop right next to a robe shop.
Yeah, listen, we stole the robe, though.
You stole the robes. You saved all the robes, but that was in the middle of the textile district of one of the largest towns.
Yeah.
So now 90% of the town is burning.
Yeah.
And as you guys are leaving, you're like, we're going to make so much money.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Your alignment, I swear, you have like such an alignment shift incoming.
It's totally chaotic. I was chaotic neutral anyways, so it's fine. This is totally chaotic. I did it for a good reason. The reason just happened to be my reason and not anybody else's reason. And that's why I had to steal all the robes, so that I could feed Susan when there wasn't a magic user around.
He was trying to actually save his friends, and that was the important part.
I had legitimate reason.
There you go.
And listen, if we can have a whole entire session where it's called Bluff the DM, and everybody just bluffs God nonstop, I'm pretty sure I can convince the DM that I was trying to do something helpful by burning down.
Yeah.
I mean, legitimately had a whole entire session where it was just bluff God.
And surprisingly
which came
enough,
out to one of the
created a legendary weapon and just a legend.
Let's not forget about Carl's nonstop rant for 15 minutes because I rolled so bad at my attacks that it took like 60 of them.
Oh my god!
That man has a penchant for just blanking completely, zoning out, and just letting his mouth go. Out of his mouth.
We need to get Carl. Carl needs to be on the podcast soon, but
he really does, because we need to hear one of his stories that are just completely out there. One of his stories similar to what he has already given us with your game.
And he always like wraps it up with like, oh, okay, are you done? Because I'm out of things to say.
Can we go to somebody else now, please?
Right. Yeah.
Oh. Good stuff. So, we just spent how much time on one time?
Oh, an hour. We were an hour deep already.
About an hour, yeah.
Oh, didn't we talk about this?
Yeah,
Are we not trying to stay on topic?
We're not staying.
This is actually one of the topics.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, I just didn't expect to spend an hour on D&D.
I mean, it actually kind of knocked out 2 of them, because LARPing was in there. We were all discussing.
Yeah.
How you guys. Oh, everything froze for a second.
No, yeah.
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
we're good. We're all good.
No. I mean, we could go into more detail about that, but it would probably end up sticking to the D&D subject.
Well,
we did.
As far as LARPing goes, I actually did practical LARPing.
Like
really?
Out, yeah.
Yeah, out and about, kind of with. I did what's called it is a form of LARPing. It's called dagger hair. So most LARPs, you have to, create a persona and stick with it and kind of go through and you have magic, you have, actual, some of them actually have uh, armor that they would wear and so on, and garbage, so on and so forth. Dagger hair is similar in the fact that, yes, you would have garb that you would wear. Yes, you would have a persona. But there was no magic wasn't as used commonly as one might think. We literally just took pieces of PVC about 48 to 56 inches long, sometimes even bigger. We would wrap it in blue camping foam and then go out in the field dressed like idiots and beat the shit out of each other on a weekend. Now, this, some people would look at us and they'll be like, oh, yeah. But here's the thing. You do that. I was my persona was a pirate. I don't know why I'm not on a ship, because that's something that always upset me. I always wanted a ship. I never got one. But we were doing this in full garb in the middle of summer for like 4 to 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are, you get wiped doing that. And it wasn't just kind of like, you poke a little bit and you're like, oh no, I'm dead. No. We wailed on each other.
Oh yeah.
Like full blown swing, go for the freaking guts sort of wailing. And it was amazing. Simply because at the end of the day, yeah, you're sore. Yeah, you probably have several welts on you, but you're fucking walking away laughing and just enjoying yourself. I remember after practices, we would go to Walmart in full garb. So a bunch of people dressed in, somewhat Renaissance dress would be walking through Walmart, and you think, those memes where people are like, oh yeah, these are the people you meet at Walmart. Yeah, but that was us. And we were very proud of it. Going to Joanne Fabrics was a treat because I got to tell everybody there why I needed the fabric I needed.
So
I mean, oh, go ahead.
So I wasn't as big into that stuff as like you and Cap were, but I really enjoyed like the stuff that you guys made.
Yeah.
Because at one point they were running a legitimate business on making the weaponry and were selling it to the other players. The other players.
Yeah.
And I don't see any difference in that as to like paintball. What am I doing in paintball? I'm dressing up so that I'm able to hide in the wood. I'm using a weapon that is considered safe, but can also leave welts, cause damage, if not used properly. And when I'm done, I've had a great day. I've enjoyed myself. I'm beat to all hell because you're running around, and it's entertaining.
Yeah.
So and yet people will go paintballing, but they won't go and smack each other with swords. I don't see why. I don't see the difference. And to be fair, paintballing's more expensive. Go buy yourself a PVC pipe, wrap it up in some some blue foam. blue
Yeah,
foam,
yeah,
carve it
yeah.
down so it looks like a sword, and go whack your brother in the face or something. Well, I'm sorry.
Not
Shoulders
yeah.
to hips, shoulders to hips.
Shoulders down. But that was one of the things. Like it is a cheap, like you said, it's a cheap entertainment.
Right.
We literally spent, I want to say, maybe $1.50, maybe two per weapon, because
Yeah.
you can get like a 10-foot piece of PVC for $1.50 at
Right.
Home Depot.
And then just
The
cut it down to size.
And cut it down to size.
Yep.
For the sword, like one of those big foam pads that you would get at Walmart for $6, $7, you had maybe 4 or 5 swords out of one of those.
Right.
So literally for dirt cheap, you could have yourself, of course you would follow the guidelines because there are some strict guidelines you have to follow for safety reasons. But as long as you follow those, like you have yourself a a weekend of absolute fun, and you can keep reusing the same thing over and over and over again.
And
Some of them
if it breaks, it's not going to cost you $150 to go get something a
exactly.
part replaced or something.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, you just remake it. Do something else. Do a different style. Like I had straight swords. I had some that were like scimitars, so they had a nice big curve in them, and that I would get proficient at using. And yes, people would go as far as learning certain martial arts and techniques in order to be able to use on the field, which is exactly what would happen, during battles back then.
Right.
So it was something that you become more knowledgeable about and more active about.
That's really cool. I never had anyone to actually do that kind of stuff with, so that is something that's awesome to hear about, because it's not common around Southern California that you actually see other or meet others that do that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Most people don't even, unless they stumble across a group, they don't even know that they are there.
Yeah.
Um, but you can look it up and you can find places because each locale has their own troop, and they'll have a certain day and a certain location that they meet at, and a certain time, and they would go there, do a practice maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on how their group is. And it can be anywhere between 5 people. And we, at one point, our the practice location had over 30 people just for the
Oh wow,
practices show up. So
that
imagine.
is pretty crazy.
It was amazing because we had also visiting groups from other locales come to our practices and go, hey, can we just hang out with you guys for this weekend and just kind of like join forces? At that point, we were able to play much bigger games like, take over the castles. So where we would line up the patch of grass into castle shape essentially, and you'd have an attacking team and a defending team, and we would siege the castle essentially. And it was just mayhem. It was so much fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I could have experienced that back then.
That well, you still can. That's
Not
it
for a
happened.
while.
Well, not for a while. They used to have a thing called an event called Ragnarok. Was I think it was in Pennsylvania or Ohio or one of the states around here. Um, and it's a year event. It's a once a year event where all of the troops from around the U.S. would gather in this one location. So it would be hundreds or thousands of people camping out for the week. And just every day, there's an event going on, there's a bonfire, there's fights happening like that would involve everybody. It's just so much fun. I would recommend anybody, well, on hopefully this stuff clears up first, but like,
Right.
look,
Not soon, but in the next couple of years, look into it.
Look into it, and kind of like, even if you don't want to participate, you can just sit there and watch and just have fun, because everybody there is absolutely friendly. There's nobody that will not welcome you.
Well, if I'm there, I won't, because Tread hates everything. Don't forget.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Do I get to do into my?
Remember, I also hate everything. So
it's true. Yes. Do I get to go into my new segment of Tread hates everything? What does Tread hate this week?
So the guests are the only one that are agreeable to things. The two of you are just like, no, I hate it.
Oh, we're the curmudgeons. We're the curmudgeons, and the guests are there to just keep it lively.
That's
as I sit here
two Muppets sitting in the bleachers, kind of griping about everything.
Right.
Just have like the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal Peter Griffin's spot of, you know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh man. So aside from that, we are knocking out these subjects pretty quick. I think all we have is No Man's Sky and Partner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
All right, let me hear from you two.
Okay, so that's my off-stream recordings for this month. So I actually put together, I did an editing stream on Monday where I just edited my video while people sat there and told me how bad my video looked. It was awesome. My friends are amazing.
No, we're here to support you.
Yes, support.
Criticism is support. It's important, all right?
Right. So that's my off stream this month, and it's actually kind of funny. I have hours of it already recorded. And I decided that I was going to do the Brad builds a house. And people laughed because I could not get the things to snap to where I wanted them to. For like 5 minutes, I could not get the pieces to snap. I literally was like, and so.
Did you see that, Boyan?
I did not see it.
Okay, cool. The video comes out tomorrow, so feel free to watch.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. So
I was building in third person.
I was building in third person. So I first off, okay, I didn't realize that there was first person. I should have realized there was first person. Every game has first person. I don't know what I was thinking. And two, so I'm sitting there like putting it together, and then halfway through building the house, like you just see my wife reach over and give me the baby. And then for like 35 minutes is me holding the baby and doing nothing in the game. And then, so I decided, I was like, screw it. I'm gonna keep it in. I clipped it. I shrunk it down to like 20 seconds of like a montage of me holding/feeding the baby. And it's like right in the middle of my video. It's like you're watching and you're like sitting there laughing because first off, the audio on that was crap because I was recording it through Streamlabs still. And the audio sounds terrible, and it was like long periods of where like it wasn't actually recording things. It was just sitting. So I in this video, I went back to my old bad habit of just putting music over the video and not talking. So it's just like all of a sudden, and you go like, I literally pick I use the free music that you find in Audio Library. I use like the hardest music that I could find, and then there's a period, and it just says "Daddy time incoming," and then it cuts to me and the baby where I zoomed in on us, so we're in the middle of the screen, and it's like this kid's song playing or whatever, and then it comes right back out to like this hard music of watching. It's literally the most ridiculous thing I've put together.
Can't wait to see that.
It's absolutely out of control. But that game, it is very entertaining to me. There is so much.
Yeah,
it is so big. I thought I was doing good, And then Varanax and Jez show up to show me I'm doing bad. That's how bad it was. They literally like, let's party together. I'm like, cool, that sounds awesome. And then Jez is like, so there's this really cool ship here and you should buy it. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. And she's like, oh, here. And just like literally gives me items to sell, and I sell them, and now I have $1 bajillion. And I was like, that was not my plan.
That was one thing that was the one thing that I said, okay, you have to do this. The ship is an exotic ship. Those are super rare, like super rare exotic S-class ship. So I was like, yes, just get it. Just accept it.
Right.
No questions asked.
Well, and then of course Jez does the whole like, oh, hold on. You need to repair that. So here, I'm going to give you a couple more of these things and sell them back. And next thing I know, it was like literally like 50 million of the currency. And I needed like 600. And I was like, Jez, and she goes, yeah, I knew you were going to get mad at me for that one. So I just not said anything, and now it's yours and you can't trade it to me. So haha. I was like, super cool. I'm going to go blow it on nothing. Like, just going to go buy stuff and like turn it back in for a loss.
I literally like spent around 10 hours in that game running from stations to other stations because every single system has a different economy in that game. So you're able to actually make economic runs between every location you could find and just buy, sell, buy,
oh my
sell.
God. No.
So,
and I have a specific cargo ship just for that.
So that the thing, I did play No Man's Sky, and I actually got it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And back then, their biggest thing was like, you can go explore and go here, and the end game was you get to the center of the galaxy. My biggest gripe about that was people were dissing the game because they were able to literally run through the game without exploring much at all to this and get to the center of the galaxy within 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, there's not much to the game. I'm like, you realize you can explore this whole planet. Like, it doesn't box you into an area. Literally, the whole planet is something you can see. And there is something on these planets, on each and every one of them, that you can explore. And then more like the temples that let you learn the language.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So with learning the language, you're able to communicate with the vendors more, and you're able to get more stuff because you explored. And that's the point of this game, is go explore, find new things, take pictures of new creatures, that so on and so forth. And if you do that, literally this game is incredibly massive, and I love it because
so big.
that's that is my play style. I love exploring new areas and kind of doing the thing. When I was playing WoW, the very first big achievement that I got was the Explorer.
Yeah.
I literally died hundreds of times because my happy ass was trying to run through an area that was 20 levels higher than what I was.
Right.
Simply so I can, what is it? Words, damn words. Simply so I can discover these new areas and actually get that achievement. And that was my crown jewel. That was the thing that I was happy about,
Yeah.
So this game in particular, and I'm gonna have to start playing it again. It was something that I was very happy with from the very get-go because I understood what they were trying to make and push through with this. The hours that you can spend on it just kind of roaming around and gathering things and fixing things is absolutely incredible, and a lot of time went into it, so I'm very happy. There is a similar game. I don't know what it is called, but it's essentially space exploration, and it is incredibly realistic to the point where a guy kept going further and further into deep space. And basically, if you lose a ship there, you lose that ship. You lose all
Oh,
your
you mean
time
Eve
and progress.
Online?
It wasn't Eve. It was something
Not Eve.
else. It
Okay.
was something else. Um, and it literally there's a group of friends that they made it their job to get fuel to people that are stranded. And their organization to get this guy back took them 600 hours
Jesus.
to
Oh my God.
organize, like, daisy chain all their ships with the fuel to get to him so they can bring him
Oh.
back.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
Like, and it's incredible, like, the amount of space that you would need to, like, get from point A to point B to do all of that. And then some people that are so dedicated to this is amazing. Speaking of Eve Online, one of the most expensive space battles
Yep.
known to man.
Yep.
What was it? Over $30,000?
Like
Something
real
like
life,
that. It
yeah,
was
real life
insane.
money. It was
Yeah.
an absolutely ridiculous amount of real life money that went into that. And
Because you actually buy these frigates and ships and all the upgrades and everything else with real money. And these people decided, like, yeah, let's have a giant space battle. Literally $30,000 or plus dollars
just gone.
went into just gone in matter of minutes.
Right.
A lot of it comes from the cards that you buy on the marketplace. They're time cards that people sell for in-game money because there's a lot of people that make a lot of money in-game. So they purchase those, and it's just buying them and reselling them, and just that economy exploded. And everyone, like every little bit of ISK, which that's a term, ISK, for the currency. Just so much goes into that. God, the amount of capitals that were destroyed that day.
Right.
That is something that is absolutely astounding to me. I'm like, when I play games and they have like the microtransactions, I absolutely hate that.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
like, if you play a game, you purchase that game to begin with, so you should be able to get everything that's inside that game already available to you at some point in time. Like, yeah, you should work for it, so to earn it.
Yeah.
But like, some of the mounts in WoW, like, people spend good money just to get something they can ride on. I'm like, my little horsey here that I got through a quest
That's the same thing, right?
does the same thing yours does.
Yours
just different color.
Here's where I differ on that. If it does not affect gameplay,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like if you buy a hat that looks like a Mad Hatter's hat or something like that, and it's just a cosmetic item, fine. Congratulations, you spent your hard-earned money on that cosmetic item. And the same with the mounts too. Like, you're using it. That's your money. But if it's something that like, I can get this weapon by working my ass off for 20 weeks or whatever, or I can spend $19.99 to get this weapon and I have it now. That's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay at all. I hate that. That system is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. It's like there are situations where, in that realm of things, where that very same weapon, where you spend just even like some of them take a year to get, and people just go like, "Oh, I'm going to spend $120."
Right.
Yeah, and
that's that I see is wrong. And that's like when they had the real cash auction house in WoW. They had a real money auction house for a while.
Was it in WoW or Diablo? Are you talking about?
I don't think it was WoW.
No,
Yeah, I think it was Diablo.
I think it was
I think
Diablo.
Diablo,
You're right.
3.
You're right. It was Diablo. I just knew it was a Blizzard game. I didn't think that like that wasn't smart.
No, not at all.
Because it broke gameplay.
Yeah.
And you also had like people like once they started doing like cross servers and stuff like that, people were able to like hack something in the PC version and then transfer it over to the Xbox version. And I actually might still have the character on there, but Carl duped me a weapon at one point, and it was like something gigantic. Like basically, it was like a barbarian weapon that like one shot like everything. So, I don't remember what the hell it was. That was a long time ago. But so like that type of stuff, I that game breaking. But and I also think I also miss the days of games coming out whole.
Yes.
Like why do I have to buy a battle pass just so that I can continue playing the game that I've already paid $60 for?
Yep. Get your DLC. No, give me the game. Like,
yeah, and some people say that like WoW has that, but I don't agree. I don't think it's the same. I think their expansions are like basically additions to the games that come later. But like if I'm paying like basically take Destiny. You had to like basically you got the introduction to the game, you got into the game, you enjoyed the game, and then you had to have the wolf thing or the next thing or any
the expansions.
Yeah, you had
yeah.
But they were
very short too.
and they were small DLCs basically is what they were.
Yep.
And that's frustrating. But that goes back a while, because I remember getting DLCs for you can see the cover. Dragon Age.
I mean that goes back to the days of the 360.
Yeah. So like Dragon Age had DLCs and stuff on it.
So as basically as soon as the systems were connected online,
right?
That's when it happened. Before then, like you buy a game, that is the whole game,
right?
Like
it was all about expansions at that point.
Which again, I'm fine with. I'm fine with an expansion if it's a legitimate expansion to the game.
Yeah.
Like,
and back then they
going
really
from
were.
Classic to BC, from BC to Wrath to those are expansion. That is expanding the world, changing the world. Like Cataclysm was so much different from every other expansion because it completely rewrote the world. That's an expansion. Going and just unlocking a door and now you have access to this dungeon, that's not an expansion. That is you milking me for my money so that I have to pay you an additional $20 so that I can go raid with my friends on this one small part.
Yeah.
And we'll finish it within 2 weeks,
Yeah. It is really sad, like, that a lot of people, like, a lot of these companies had to adopt the word, the DLC.
Right.
They had to adopt that word. For example, Outward actually has expansions. Like there's a huge amount of content within those DLC packs.
Right.
So it's literally like it has been tainted because I guess it was already tainted. They don't call it expansions anymore. It's sad because expansions don't quote unquote exist because they're now DLC.
Yeah. They don't.
So it's so difficult to actually define what is an expansion anymore.
And I think a good way to look at it is like an expansion has to have like a significant change within the world that you understand. Again, comparing World of Warcraft, comparing World of Warcraft to Destiny is not a fair comparison in any way, shape, or form. But if you just look at what they, like I said, what they call an expansion is literally it's year or 2 years or longer worth of content, that's an expansion.
Mhm.
Whereas, you get in Destiny and they call their I can't remember any of them. I know one of them was involved with wolves. That's the only reason why I
Yeah,
remember.
it was the House of Wolves.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not an expansion
Was that Destiny 1 or 2?
That was Destiny 1, yeah.
Oh, okay.
because,
House of Wolves was part of Destiny 1.
but that stuff like you were able to finish within a couple weeks. Where I think an expansion has to have a significant amount of time involved into it.
So with Destiny, their biggest shortcoming was their storyline. Like
Yeah.
it was incredibly short. Like yeah, you still had raids. Yeah, you still had quests and dungeons and everything else that you can go into. And most of the time, it would take you a while to get through them and gear up to actually be ready for like the end boss.
Right.
However, the actual storyline, like the quest chains,
Yeah.
were not there. It was very, very sad because it was a very good game.
Yeah.
It had all the right things that it needed to have. It just wasn't enough.
And it didn't and now it's been a long time since I've played, so I might be misremembering things a little bit. But you didn't even hit anywhere close to max level, whatever they called it. There was the
Light level.
The light level, thank you.
Yeah.
You got nowhere near close to the max light level just by getting through the storyline.
Exactly.
So then you're trying to get into groups to do the dungeon. You aren't probably strong enough to be there, and then you go in, and of course it shows all the stats at the end, and you're 4 kills, 12 deaths, and then everybody else is 900 kills, no deaths, and you're like, oh cool, I suck, this is awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to continue to do this.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. In order to get your light level up, you had to grind, which ended up being you had to play the exact same content over and over again.
Yeah.
There was nothing new. It was the same thing over and over, and it got boring
very quick.
And the other thing is when you would do PvP matches, which again, I have no problem with PvP.
I terrible
have a problem when I literally walk in there and it was a horrible matchmaking system to begin with.
Right.
But I walk in there and within 3 seconds, I'm dead.
Right.
Because there's this dude that's literally, armed to the teeth with all the freaking exotic guns that would just wreck everybody instantly.
And they even at one point they had the matchmaking was your item level was supposed to be leveled out, but it still didn't matter.
But yeah, it didn't matter because it leveled out the items, but the effects that the additional effects that the items had
still destroyed
was still there.
Yeah.
There was a gun called Thorn. It was a handgun. And they patched it later on, but at first you were literally able to put 2 shots into a person and walk away from them and they'll be dead. Simply because it had an ongoing effect of poisoning you and damage over time.
Yeah.
So all you needed was 2 shots, body shots, does not matter. You can hit them twice in the ankle for all you care.
Right.
And just walk away and they'd be done. That's not... They could have done a lot to make things better in that game. They really could have.
I really enjoyed Destiny 2, by the way. I guess I should make that point now because I did not play Destiny 1 all that much. Destiny 1 was just not... No. it was not even close to Destiny 2.
Yeah. Destiny 2, they did a lot of patching, and they did take into consideration all the gripes that Destiny 1 had. I did like the fact that They basically put everybody at 0, and they're like, okay, this is the story so far, but we're gonna nerf everybody and just start again, and build your level up, which is from a new player's perspective is great, because you're not having those OP guys running around with all their exotic gear, kind of punishing everybody just for simply being there.
Yeah.
What uh, I didn't like about Destiny 2 is they repeated the same process of their DLCs,
Yeah.
of their expansions, so called. Their storyline was extremely short, extremely short, and it took them 2 expansions before they actually got one good one, which was Forsaken.
No, Forsaken was good.
Like, and
Yeah.
that was the big issue, is like you keep waiting for it to get better and better and better, and it doesn't. And then they hit the one that was good, and then everybody's like, "Oh, thank God." But then they start putting out the crap again. Like, come on. I actually just started playing Destiny 2 again after their final revamp of whatever. And it took them a while, but it's balanced now.
And then they removed a lot of their old content in the latest one. I was disappointed. I was so disappointed by that.
Here's the thing. They revamped the storyline with that removal. It gets you into the new content by including some of the old stuff. I was actually surprised when I started playing, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm starting this game in Destiny 1. Like, the very first level in Destiny 1 is the first level if you play Destiny 2 now. Kind of getting getting you into the Cosmodrome, getting you the ship, getting you, just the basics, which was really interesting because they tied it in nicely into the later content.
Okay.
Okay, who's my dude? Who's my dude that died in Destiny 2?
Cade 6.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That broke me.
That's the reason why I absolutely love Forsaken, is because it gave me a reason to go fucking kill everybody.
It broke my heart. He was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then he was everyone's favorite.
And then they put him down, honestly, just like that.
Yeah, if you don't know who Nathan Fillion is, go watch some Firefly. You're absolutely gonna fall in love with the dude. But no, he was the best character out of them all, and they pulled a Joss Whedon, where they find the character that is most beloved and they kill him off.
Yep.
So,
and it was heartbreaking. Like, legitimately watching that, I remember watching that cutscene going, I think I did one of these, like, there's no way. They're not going to. What are they doing? Why are they? No.
So the interesting part about that is, when the content came out, I was playing it with a buddy of mine, and we got to the cutscene where you get to meet the guy that orchestrated this whole thing for Cade 6, and they give you like the option of spare him or take him out. Like, as soon as I saw the option to take it out, I just click. Like, he wasn't even done talking. I'm like, no. You're done.
That's it. If anybody saved him, they're a traitor to the cause. I'm just saying.
But it's interesting because in that one, I believe that's when your character first speaks, right?
That's the very first time that your character actually talks.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, like, with Cade's, he leaves like memoirs for you to find later on, like throughout the stuff. And he keeps calling you the silent buddy. Like, this whole time, it was the inside joke. Like, you never talk. Everybody calls you silent for some reason. That's
and then like really... my life goal after that became to try to get Cade 6's weapon, and like, because it was an exotic that you could build.
Yes,
I never did. I wound up quitting Destiny before I finished it, but Yeah, that was like my life's goal for a while, was trying to get that weapon together.
So I did get that weapon and his ship.
Oh,
And it was like, it wasn't the best ship, it wasn't the best looking ship, but it was just like
it was
it was
sentimental.
his.
Yeah.
And
I know I
yeah.
know the weapon wasn't that good because people talk
No,
about
it was actually decent.
Yeah.
For what it was.
Right, but it wasn't like even like the character I played on, it wasn't like the ideal weapon style or anything for him. So I don't know, played back then. It was very
No, it was that expansion right there. That was the most fun I've had with that game.
And
I think it was their peak.
And I don't I don't want to feel like I'm nitpicking on Destiny. Destiny was just my example. Like it had it. You know, there's so many more games that you could throw out there that have the same issue with, like, they give you a short amount of story and then they add in enough DLCs that you have to basically buy a couple different versions of the game just to try to continue playing, and then you're not getting any more story out of it. You're just getting things.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're not getting content, you're getting, you know, placeholder.
Exactly.
Or so, and that's how I feel about a lot of different, like, that's why a lot of the stuff that I stream is like old, a little bit older stuff, not old, like, but you know.
But okay, all right. So you guys want some hate mail in your inbox after what I'm about to say? It's going to be great.
Nobody makes it to this late in the video anyway, so they all shut it off when we started when we were talking D&D.
I'm gonna give you the title for this podcast. All right, ready? I greatly dislike, even hate, games like Fortnite.
Oh God, I'm with you 100%.
I'm with you.
So my main reason. Okay.
All right. So the title is 3 Old McCrudgeons hate Fortnite.
So and it's not just Fortnite. It's games like Fortnite.
Right.
One of them is League of Legends.
Yep.
Dota. You know, a certain what is it? PUBG. Or Hero of the Storms or whatever. They all have the same premise, and I dislike them because of the fact that they have no almost like a reward system for you doing well and gaining skills in what you're doing. You literally, every match, you start, win or lose, you start back at the beginning.
Right.
There's no advancement. There's nothing else that comes with, like, there's no actual benefit for you to win.
Right.
Yeah, you can get some weapons within the game itself or some abilities within the game itself.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have a pickaxe.
So I will say that the only thing I can positively say about Fortnite is that their pay, like their microtransaction type stuff, isn't pay to win. You know, you're not walking in with like a bazooka while everybody else has their pickaxe.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. What they walk in is a $300 bill that their parents now have because they wanted certain skin.
Right.
That's
which is
the big issue. Like,
which is the reason why my kids keep asking for Roblox.
Oh God, yes.
And we keep Roblox. Trying. And they've got money, like they've got their own money and stuff like that. But I won't put the credit card on there to get them that, because that will be the one time like we forget to turn on a safety, and next thing I know, bank accounts.
Yeah.
There's one thing I have to say when it comes to the cosmetic thing. The like, for example, Path of Exile. Path of Exile survives entirely off of cosmetics.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely. The game has no other source of income.
And like I said, I'm not against cosmetics. I honestly think I think cosmetics are fine. But like Hero of the Storms, you mentioned them. Hero of the Storms, you can buy characters, and you can use your money, buy a currency, use that currency to purchase characters that make you stronger. That to me is pay to win.
That is wrong.
And I don't agree with that mentality. I don't agree with that type of microtransaction. I don't agree with that. But I don't care about cosmetics. Like, if you want to go walk around looking like, a clown with 14 different pieces that you paid for, great, congratulations. You have disposable income that I don't have. But if I can't enjoy the game because you've purchased a character that is so over the top strong, and I have 0% chance of winning, I am deleting the game off my hard drive faster than you can believe. Hero of the Storms I have played it a couple different times. And then I get to the point where like I run into like freaking Diablo sitting there nuke breathing the whole entire lane, and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do about that? I'm sitting here on like, a small child with a tricycle because I haven't leveled up high enough to do anything more than that. And I'm getting destroyed by somebody who's been playing nonstop. And I think there is a way to earn the currency in the game, but it's like when the specialty character just came out last week and you've already got it, there's no way you earn the currency to get that character. Like mom and dad's credit card probably paid for that. So that's just, and that's the transactions that I don't mind the cosmetic stuff. I actually sometimes enjoy some of the cosmetic stuff.
I do too much in Path of Exile.
I'm trying to think about there have been things like when they have like Blizzard does their charity pets. I've participated in that in the past. I think it's a good cause. It goes to a good cause. Plus you get a little, this bitty thing that follows you around from time to time. That's not terrible. So, that type of stuff. I think I have Little Rag, and I think I paid for Little Rag way back. So, I don't mind the cosmetic stuff. But if it's pay to win, if it causes you pay for something and it changes how the game dynamic goes, and you get an advantage because you made that purchase, I'm completely off. I don't think it should be involved at all. And I also have a real big problem with like loot boxes, because it's gambling.
Yeah,
that's child gambling.
That's why I hate Fortnite in their cosmetic department.
Okay,
because that's bullshit.
That'll give you. I'm not so up on the Fortnite stuff. My brother plays pretty frequently, or at least he did when he was with me. So I'm not 100%. I'm not a loot box person.
When you can buy cosmetics straight up, like the exact item you want, and don't have to continuously spend money over and over and over again on roulettes.
Right. Is how their stuff is set up? That's how their cosmetics are set up, is that you have to keep buying the boxes.
Sometimes they do have like the
direct buy
for some of them, but other ones are in like a like he said, like a roulette style.
Okay. Yeah, I don't agree with that type of stuff either, because it just gets out of hand. And you can spend a lot of money and not get the thing that you're looking for, and like you're like, that's what's the freaking point?
So. And that's why I absolutely like. I am usually really against microtransactions, simply for the reason like you have a game, play the game in order to earn what you want.
Right.
Like that's the point of the game, is you play it in order to get things.
Yeah.
But these whole microtransaction shortcuts, as it were.
Yeah.
Those are, I understand why they're doing them, but they are pointless from the perspective of why you have the game itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. I 100% agree. So, hands down.
Yeah. Let all the hate comments roll in.
Yep. Since the survey says we hate Fortnite.
All the esports. There go all the esports sponsorships right there.
Yeah, that's sad. That's okay. Damn, I was just on the phone with Epic last night.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's a
contract for EA Sports that just tore it up.
Ugh. EA Sports.
Yeah, I'm sure Ubisoft's gonna drop me.
Yeah.
I do like that we are still 50-50 on Blizzard games right now. Like we're like we like these ones, but then we hate these ones. So Blizzard's like they're like, man, maybe we'll support them. We're not sure. All right, so last topic because we're pushing 2 hours at this point.
A day in the life of a partnered streamer.
Affiliate streamer.
I have it written as partnered, so I read that again.
That's fine. The goal eventually now is partner because it's now that affiliate's been hit. I look at it and I'm like, I mean, I could eventually get 75 average streamer watchers, viewers. Right now, I'm averaging about 5. That's not too many more.
No. You just got a little bit to go. Huh?
Yeah, like.
Wait, do we know that many people?
No. I need more friends. Right now.
Hey, Grandma, watch this tonight.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. It's right. Hey, Grandma.
All your relatives.
Yeah.
Friends.
It's honestly a little less stressful because I don't feel like I need to keep pushing for that number. Like the average viewers was the one that kept me down for a while.
Yeah.
So it's a little less stressful in that aspect. It's also there's so many. It unlocks so much more stuff, and I have no idea how to do any of it. I literally spent all day Sunday watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out how this stuff. I also realized now I have to have things like people have expectations for affiliate streamers. So like, oh, if I'm gonna sub to you, I want my emotes. Like I don't have emotes, and if I want to get them, I have to have somebody design them because I don't know how to do any of this. And they're usually like $3 to $4 per emote. So
wow.
Yeah, so like it's a lot more expensive than I expected. I'm actually working with somebody now to do overlay because I want to update my channel so that it looks like I'm an affiliate, not like I'm just, I like I did when I first started. Like my stuff is very basic, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with basic. I actually one of the biggest Hearthstone streamers. His name is Trump SC, and you go to his channel and you wouldn't know that he on average has like 1,500 people watching stream because you look at it and you're like, oh, there's nothing. Like it's just very basic.
Well, that's the thing. Like, upgrading and everything, like kind of changing it up, making it look sleek and whatnot. That's all good and dandy, but it still all comes down to the content.
Right. And I don't disagree with that at all. I just want my channel to look a little bit more put together. And right now it doesn't look put together. It looks kind of all over the place.
I mean, you still do pretty well. You figured a few things out, which is very good. And we got to get you a backdrop of some sort.
I know my back. It's terrible. There's a wall behind me. Sometimes it looks like it's curving. I don't understand it. The corner was.
I'm just using a hack job of a backdrop.
Yours is fine though. I would do that.
So I mean, what you can do is you can get a cardboard cutout of like shelves and with books on them and just kind of stick it onto the wall.
Oh my god! I was watching what was I watching? I was watching a YouTube video, and like the guy did like a reveal of like he had like a fridge behind him.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, and it's like literally.
And they're like, okay, the guy like earned up like to $1 million, whatever the currency is for his channel. And he paid for it to find out what was in his fridge. And he literally goes, joke's on you. It's a cardboard cutout. It wasn't even a fridge like this whole time. I think that's hilarious. But so that's like.
You can do something like this.
Right. Yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, hey, that looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
I figured I'd be festive tonight, for the viewers.
So like, like I do feel like there's a set of expectations that come with like being an affiliate now. I have to have like, quality has always been my goal, but like now, I hit people pay to watch my channel. Like, it just blows my mind. Now it was just Key buying over and over and over subs for everybody else because he wanted to be number one, but still, there's
then you had to tell him it was like only for a month.
It's only for a week. It's only for a week.
Yeah. Only for a week.
So then he did it the same thing next week. But that's part of it is that, I gotta, like I said, with the expectations, like I feel like I have to do more. But I also like I said, there's less pressure to make sure like, oh, I'm 10 minutes into my stream. I only have one viewer. Do I cut my stream off right now and then try again in a little bit? Or do I just keep going? Because it doesn't matter now. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't. And like I said, I'm averaging high enough anyways that I'm not going to like get my affiliate taken away or anything.
Well,
can it be taken away?
It can be. It's like basically like if you just don't stream for like 6 months or something like that, they'll take away.
Okay.
So on that note, I actually do think that that's like doing a risk and reward sort of thing. Like, when do you call it and go like, okay, tonight is a loss. I'm doing this. To that, I would say kind of don't base yourself on your audience. Base yourself on what you want to do.
Right.
Because that is in essence what you are doing here. Like,
right.
Personally, I would be like making content that I would want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
As opposed to like trying to please everybody, because once you start going down that rabbit hole, it's not going to stop.
And that's what I did. That's why I focused on like just I would push through those like low stream times, and guess what? And eventually it would pick up, and I'd usually average over what I wanted to average anyway. And so there's the channel or the Discord that me and Bernax are in, Costco channel. We have goals that I put down for every month, and my goals this month was just trying to improve the quality of my content, and also focusing a lot on the YouTube channel and the podcast, and trying to wrap it all into like one big like basically just improve quality across the board.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, like trying to figure out what I want to do. Now that I've hit this point, how do I start focusing my stream? Do I want to keep doing the random games that people just like, hey, go play this game for a few hours, or go do this for a few hours, or do I want to just be like one specific game? Probably I don't want to, because I get bored of it.
Yeah. Honestly, your current content, like, I like the diversity.
Yeah.
It's something, because you're not only keeping yourself amused during your stream. You're not kind of like dreading like, okay, let's go grind for XYZ,
right?
But you're also like showcasing games that other people's might like to try as well.
Yeah.
So that's the big benefit of, is like having a diverse set of games that you play. Is you're kind of showing other people that may not be familiar with something, like something that they might want to try later on.
Right. And that's how I feel. I'm hoping that I hope that I'm inspiring other people to play different types of games or whatever. And I'm always trying to, and I'm never going to be the one that's out there buying the the newest, most expensive game that's just come out. and everybody's like, because then you get a Fallout 76 situation where everybody was so excited for the game to come out, and then it completely flops right after it starts, and now I'm out the money and I play the game. Nobody wants to watch me play the game.
A good example of us playing a game that, like, Valheim. Let's take Valheim, for example. Like, we were on that before
everybody
issues with the servers.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just having that variety, just trying random games, and then later on realizing, oh wow, this game has become so big that it's overtaken Twitch.
Right.
That stuff is really cool. I like doing that variety streams that are just, I don't know. I agree with you 100% on that.
And I also kind of think I like the idea of doing like 1 to 2 long streams a month. Like this upcoming weekend on Saturday, I'm playing Dead Rising. So Bojan did vote for Rocket League for 6 to 8 hours straight. Sounds pretty awful in my head.
Here's the thing, like, you don't realize how much time you spend until it's gone on that game.
Right.
Like I said in the last podcast, like, I literally sat down. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna play a match or two just to see what all the fuss is about. And literally 6 hours later, I'm like, why am I still playing this? Like,
right. Yeah.
It sucks you in, and it does. I mean, because I think it's because the matches are like about 3 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep going. Oh, it's just another 3 minutes. Oh, it's just another 3 minutes, and you just keep going and going and going.
I think I'm about hitting my limit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah,
like.
But I
I'm
think one of the things that you should consider doing is like doing party games, like doing a lot more people, like you do Among Us.
Oh yeah,
you missed.
I know. I heard
missed Scribble.io.
No, I caught the clip that I needed to miss
because that was just like, I'm never gonna live this down.
Yeah. Was it the whole bondage bandage?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was me.
Bondage.
But the other one is there was a platform, like a platformer game that you can spend literally hours on, called Heave Ho. It's a 2D platformer where you're this little tiny ball with arms, and you're grab onto the ground or the walls, and you kind of like flop yourself across and get yourself to the finish line. You can have more than one player.
Oh gee.
That's where all hell breaks loose, because now you're all holding on to each other. If somebody lets go, you're all falling. So it's just trying to coordinate multiple people from going from point A to point B, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, definitely have to look into that type of stuff.
Sometime.
Yeah,
it is on Steam, and it's like dirt cheap too. It's like $2 or something.
Yeah, Steam dirt cheap games seem to be my way to go. Or the Xbox Pass that I have, where I can just download everything.
Oh, that Game Pass is so good.
It's such a good.
The app is terrible, but
the app
Game Pass is good.
The app is garbage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why I'm able to run it is because Windows comes with an Xbox app.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
I had that. I actually deleted it because I never used it, and then had to re-download it, and then I remember how bad.
So I mean, it's great, and there's a bunch of like big title games on there as well that you can get pretty cheap. But
I mean, Crusader Kings 3 launched on Game Pass.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely a variety of games. Like, you can do scary. You can do like
scary games were not my forte, but apparently that's my forte these days. Guys that keep getting drugged in us.
Rising is not exactly a scary game. It's
no.
Pure and utter chaos.
It sounds like it's a modern Doom.
It is hilarious.
Sort of, yeah. Doom is still Doom. I mean,
Doom is Doom. Doom will always be.
Dude, I remember playing that with a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, I'm sorry. Floppy disks. Because
I'm
you
gonna
had
add
to
this
have
to the
multiple.
next.
He's adding to the list because we're running out of time. We're at the 2-hour mark. So.
I'm legitimately adding this. We're gonna have you on again.
Shit.
You know what? Why don't we? Are you free like every week?
I am free.
We
every
need
week,
it. We need to get Bojan a logo. He can have a corner.
Hey, if we do it, like, sure, absolutely, we can have a fourth person as a guest.
Yeah, let's go. We got. I got 4 corners of the screen. We got 2 logos up now. 2 more. We're good. So, all right.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours. I'm tired. Let's wrap this up.
I'm sorry.
This is what happens when you talk to me. I just go off.
This is great. This is fantastic. It's one reason why I suggested in the first place is because, like, seriously, we all have good chemistry here.
Yeah, we can just sit here and talk.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's it for tonight.
We should stop tonight.
I would just like to say thank you for joining us again, Bojan.
Oh, I thank you. It was my pleasure.
Thank you for watching. If you're still watching this late into the video, you're the true hero. I know it's you, Rant. Thank you, Rant. You're the one person. I just want to say, love you guys. Thank you for watching. My name is Trad Dad. I'm
Barely the Dax.
And we are the Trad Dad Gaming Podcast Network thingamabobber that we still don't have a real name for, so we just keep using long words. And that is it. Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.